Most people don't realize that manifestation isn't about what you want. It's about what you actually allow yourself to receive. You've probably tried to manifest something before, so whether that be money, love, success, but no matter how hard you try to visualize your way into the success or repeat affirmations over and over into the mirror, nothing seems to happen. And then weirdly, sometimes you're able to manifest something effortlessly without even trying. I once casually said to my friends, I'm going to be on TV, and I really believed it. And the next thing I knew, it actually happened. But when I tried to manifest money or love, nothing. And that's when I realized something that most people don't talk about. If you've ever felt like your manifestations are not working for you, this video is for you. It's going to change the way you see manifestation, because the problem isn't you, it's the incomplete version of manifestation that you've been taught. Hi, I'm Deb Sarah, and today I'm going to break down exactly why you aren't getting what you want and the simple shift to help you change everything. Now, before we dive in, let's actually talk about what manifestation is, because this word is very overused, and I'm really using it today because it's widely known. I think if I say the word manifestation, people are like, okay, I understand what you mean. What I mean when I talk about manifestation, it's not just about thinking about something and having it magically appear like I wish. Don't we all wish that was what would happen? It's really the process of bringing a thought or belief or desire into reality through alignment. So mentally, emotionally, and energetically. This means that what you're actually manifesting is a reflection of your internal state. It's not just about your conscious desire. And that's where most people get stuck. It's really not just about what you want, because quite often we think we want something, but that's not actually what we want. It's the feelings that are associated with what we desire and want. For example, when people say, I want to manifest money, do you really want money, or is it the freedom that money brings you? When they say they want love, they may actually be longing for connection, belonging, or self-worth. So the key isn't just about focusing on the physical manifestation, but aligning yourself with the feeling of what you want. And there's a couple of different ways you can do this. But what happens when you're struggling to step into that feeling? And this is a place that I really felt stuck for so long. And so we're going to explore that a bit later in this video. So manifestation is quite often taught as just believe it and it's going to come. Problem isn't that manifestation doesn't work or that you're broken, is that there's a missing piece, and that missing piece is the subconscious resistance. You know me and my love to talk about our subconscious beliefs and resistance. So you can say affirmations all day long, because I know the manifesting industry loves their affirmations. But if your nervous system doesn't feel safe receiving what it actually wants, it won't happen. Because it's not just about what you think or desire. It's about what your body, emotions, and subconscious actually accept as possible. So what does that mean? Maybe you do really desire financial abundance, but there's a real gap between where you are and where you want to be. And so as much as you try to go, okay, I want to make $500,000 a year when you're earning, say, $70,000 a year, that gap is huge. And so do you really believe it's possible? Maybe think about something you're trying to manifest right now in your life. Do you actually believe it's possible? And so there's a disconnect between what your mind is saying and what your body is believing. And this can get in the way of what you're trying to bring into reality, because you don't actually believe it's possible, even though you're telling yourself over and over that you want it. Another way to look at it, we'll go back to the financial abundance again, is if you want financial abundance, what you may not realize is that deep down, you actually fear that making more money will mean working harder, losing freedom, or being judged. It might mean that you have to become a different person to step into that abundance, or an identity that you're not ready to step into, because stepping into a new identity requires shedding old layers and letting go parts of yourself. Or maybe it's about facing responsibility and pressure that comes with money that you're not ready to deal with yet. So it's not just as simple as an affirmation or just thinking and magically hoping your manifestation will come into reality. It's really about embodying that manifestation. And this requires shedding the layers of fear and different subconscious beliefs that may be holding you back from what you want and desire. Because if your subconscious mind doesn't feel safe with what you're calling in, it is going to block that manifestation. Even if you really, really consciously want it. So this is why you accidentally manifest things and why it happened for me, because I didn't have resistance to what I was manifesting. But when you desperately want something, often you're constricting and you're holding on to it because there's a small part of you that believes that you don't deserve it, you're not going to get it, or that you know you're blocked. And that's why you're trying to hold on to it so strongly. But when we try and draw something in and really hold on to it, we're pushing it away even further because we're not actually facing the thing that's preventing us from getting the manifestation. These blocks, like we just spoke about, might come from that fear of responsibility. If I succeed, it's too much pressure. It might come from fear of disappointment. What if I fail? So you don't even allow yourself to try to succeed. Or it might come from not feeling worthy. People like me don't get that kind of success, love, or abundance. And these hidden fears are quite often more powerful than your desire to get the thing. And this can really keep you in that loop of really always wanting something and never receiving it, reinforcing those blocks and beliefs that it's never going to happen. So maybe right now you might take a moment to think about something that you're struggling to manifest. What does that look like? Maybe when you think about it, you get that tightness in your chest, that constriction. Maybe you feel a bit sick or a bit sad. What's coming up in your body when you think about the thing you're trying to manifest that isn't coming into reality? It's these physical signs within the body that's often trying to tell you where and what you're resisting. These aren't negative or bad things. These are actually really good signs. They're showing you what you can start to process and work on to help remove any subconscious blocks and bring that manifestation into reality, to start to feel worthy and deserving of it. So this is why just saying affirmations or telling yourself that it's going to happen doesn't work. We don't want to push that part away. We really want to work with it because that's the part that gets to be transformed so that you can step into that new identity, that new life or whatever it is, and be the person who can receive the manifestation that you desire. Again, you've probably heard people say, if you just think positively, good things are going to happen. But that's really not the full story, as you can see by now in what I've been talking about. Because belief shapes reality, but it doesn't automatically create it. Because there's a difference between a belief and alignment. True alignment means that your thoughts, emotions, and your body all resonate with what you want. And that's without the inner contradiction. Whereas, for example, as we said, affirmations, that's generally just working on the mind, like what you're saying, I believe, but it feels uneasy and gross because the body doesn't believe it. I know that I've experienced this so much when I've done affirmations and they've just sat so wrong because I just knew what I was saying was not true. Many of us try to convince ourselves that we believe something, but I wonder if you felt this too, deep down. You feel that niggle, that something that just tells you, I just don't believe it. And for so long, I tried to follow all the things that we're told to do to manifest, that gurus tell us to do, and it just was not working. So for example, I used to stand in front of the mirror and repeat affirmations. I don't know if you've done this before, I recorded my voice saying the affirmations and I'd listen to it when I was warming up on the treadmill, when I used to kind of do more cardio. And I'd be warming up on the treadmill and I'd be listening to my affirmations and I'd be like repeating them to myself. And sometimes I was like, yeah, I've got this. And then other times it was just like, I don't got this. Like something felt so wrong. Part of me felt just angry and annoyed. And I felt that I was broken and doing something wrong. But this was far from true. I wasn't broken or doing anything wrong. It was my body trying to tell me that it wasn't aligned with what my brain was trying to do. And you're never going to manifest something when your brain and your body are out of alignment. So if you try to manifest something when you deep down feel anxious, fear, or unworthy of the manifestation, the emotional resistance is going to override the belief. So instead of focusing on that goal, the money, the person, the perfect body, we want to focus on the feeling. How's it going to feel? So if you want to cultivate love, can you start to cultivate the feeling of being loved now, whether that's self-love or imagining someone else love you? If you want financial abundance, can you practice feeling supported and secure now? And I know that sometimes, especially for me, I've really struggled to cultivate the feeling now when I was really depressed and I hated my life and I really didn't like myself. It was so hard to try and manifest this feeling of like, everyone's just telling me to feel it now. Like, that's you, that's okay. It's not about trying to, as I just said before, have that expectation of I have to feel love right now to get it, or I'm never going to get it. It's not about that. It's about the small little steps that you take towards cultivating that feeling. What's one little way that you can start to cultivate that feeling now? And I really didn't get this at first. So when I first started to try and do this, I would get frustrated and angry and just like, why do I have to feel it now? Don't I need the perfect body or need the perfect man or need all of the money in the world to feel that way already? And it's actually not the case. And so coming back to the idea of people who can manifest things easily, this is because they already have the subconscious foundation in place. Whereas other people struggle, just like I did, because I had the conflicting beliefs and resistance between my body, my mind, and so it just wasn't falling into place. And I look back on that so much now and I go, wow, how did I manifest something? They're like big things when I can't manifest such simple things. And it's because I truly somehow believed that was going to happen. And I wasn't attached to the outcome. I wasn't really emotionally attached to it. Whereas the other things in my life, for example, I used to be obsessed with having the perfect body. And I would constrict and hold on to it so bad every time I ate food, every time I did something. Maybe take a think about your manifestation right now, as we just spoke about, how it's feeling in your body every time you think about it. It was feeling really heavy and hard and bad. Whereas these ones, it was just like, that would be so fun. I'm going to just manifest it because it could be fun. It was light. It was fluffy. No idea how they were going to come into existence, but I just knew that something about that seemed truthful. There was alignment within my whole body, my brain, all of it. And I wasn't thinking about it all the time. So I think it would be really great if you have a second to, when you're going through your day, start to notice how you're feeling in your body towards your desires. When the desire comes up, do you automatically negatively go, it's never going to happen? Or do you automatically go, I'm excited for this desire, thank you, and I'm going to let it go? Because it's not just about what you want. It's about what you're willing to allow yourself to receive. And that really comes down to a lot of the subconscious patterns that are running your body and running the show. So to wrap up, I want to give you 3 little steps that can really help you do this. Instead of trying to force belief, we want to work with your subconscious and not against it. So step 1, it's time to start to identify the resistance. Noticing when you think about your desires, what's coming up in your body? How are you feeling in your body? Is the way that you speak about your desires aligning with the way that you feel about your desires? Or is that little niggle on that thing being like, oh, it sounds nice. If I just repeat it, it will happen, but you're not actually believing it. Start to really notice how you're feeling about that. So step 2, instead of affirmations that don't feel right, you can use things like a bridging statement. So instead of I am rich, I'm open to receiving more money in a way that feels good. Instead of I am confident, I am learning to trust myself more every day. So instead of focusing on the thing, practice aligning energetically with the feeling and already having it. And I think this is really about exploring what you desire. For me, I'm actually not a huge fan of like affirmations and bridging statements. I do sometimes use them. I'm really more of a fan of the body work. So it's really about finding what works for you, because we are all different and we're all going to find different tools and techniques really useful for ourselves. So it's really about exploring what's going to be best for us. And step 3, shift from always seeking and seeing your desire as far away and external to you, and start to recognize the small little ways that it's showing up. Sometimes our manifestations, our desires are coming into reality, but we're so focused on that huge goal that we're not actually noticing the little signs and the ways that it's already showing up for us, or the way that we've shifted. For example, for a while I was manifesting money into my life and it wasn't coming in the way that I wanted it, but it was actually coming in and I was seeing signs. I just wasn't actually using to recognize them. For example, I went to Coles and I won a $10 voucher off my shopping. That may not be the exact manifestation that I was looking for, but it's showing me that I am bringing in abundance. And so I think it's really important to start to notice, maybe you're looking to be more confident. You're at work, let's just say, and you go to the lunchroom and there's someone that usually intimidates you there and you never go up and talk to them, and then one day you do. If you're focusing too hard on I want to perform on stage instead of the small little confidence boosters, you're not going to notice this little interaction as you actually stepping up in your ability to have confidence. Because quite often we can't just go from the space of like no confidence to I'm so confident I'm on stage. The body and the nervous system needs to feel safe to bring things into reality. And so that's why it's really important to start to notice those little steps that we're taking towards where we're going, because that shows us we're on the trajectory of moving towards getting what we want. So if your manifestation has not been working for you, it's not because you're doing it wrong. It's because you've been given an incomplete version of how to bring your desires into reality. It's not just about thinking positive. The key is really recognizing those subconscious resistance, working with it and shifting your alignment, but not forcing it. Coming from a place of ease. So if this has helped you shift your perspective and you're going to give a couple of these things a go, let me know in the comments. Have you ever felt like you were blocking your own manifestation? As always, thank you for watching, and I will catch you next time.